You. Good morning. You all did a beautiful job. Good morning, Springhurst students, faculty and staff, Superintendent Mr. Slentz. We are so proud to continue a 16-year tradition of the Springhurst student government. That deserves a round of applause. 16 years. And I know that is also in large part due to the leadership of Ms. Donna Misrock and the collaboration of all the faculty and staff who supported our students. Today, students, we're excited to have the fifth graders participate in this process again, and fourth graders to have you get to witness and see how you can step up next year and participate and serve as a role model and as a leader in the Springhurst school community. And also, being a part of student government prepares you maybe for leadership beyond our elementary school and in your greater community. And so it's fitting that we have invited Ms. Stewart Cousins today to join us at Springhurst. Can we please give Ms. Stewart Cousins a round of applause? You may be wondering, well, who is she and why is she here? You're going to find out in just a moment. But we thank you, Ms. Stewart Cousins and her staff, for coming today to talk to our students about the role of government and how they can start to get involved. We're also happy to have our third graders join today's assembly so you get an opportunity to experience what student government is about and look forward to voting and possibly serving as a representative next year. It is my pleasure and privilege at this time to invite up our student government advisor, Ms. Donna Misrock.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So today we are here to recognize our fourth and fifth graders who ran in our student government election this year. And we're here to have them take an oath today, an oath of office. Does anybody know what an oath is? What's an oath?
A promise.
Exactly, a promise. A promise to listen to your peers and the people you represent, okay? So that they can help make a difference in our school. So, in a few weeks from now, on Tuesday, November 7th, adults ages 18 and over across our entire country will be exercising their rights as citizens of the United States of America. They're going to be going to the polls and to vote on certain issues and for various officials to represent them in our local, state, and national government. In fact, our very own Village of Dobbs Ferry will be voting for a mayor this year. And it's our responsibility to vote as good citizens, and we have many factors to consider when we go to the polls to vote and making our decisions. So fourth and fifth graders, over the past several weeks, you have listened to your classmates' speeches and you have seen their wonderful posters hanging in your classroom. And you too had to make some decisions. You had a lot to consider on who to vote for in our student government elections. So you had to think about whether the candidate is a good leader. Is the candidate a hard worker and someone who helps others? Does the candidate demonstrate Springhurst's 3 R's? What are they? Exactly. And you had to think about whether the candidate was kind and considerate to classmates and adults and is a good listener and a good communicator. So, you also had to think about whether the candidate demonstrates our Springhurst PBIS monthly values, whether the candidate is the best choice to represent your class and all of Springhurst, because you had many good choices, I heard. Well, just as you considered who to vote for, The American people will consider some of these same questions as they cast their ballots next week on November 7th. And just like our student government, representatives will take an oath today, and the candidates across our country who are elected on November 7th will also take an oath before taking on their new positions. So I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Grabelski.
Good morning, everybody. I am going to introduce to you our very special guest, Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins, who is the majority leader of the New York State Senate, and she represents the 35th District of New York State, which includes our village of Dobbs Ferry. So that means that Senator Stewart Cousins represents us and everybody in this room. So the Stewart Cousins has been here before to help swear in student government. So we're very excited to welcome her back again. And so Ms. Stewart Cousins, welcome to our school. Come on up.
Thank you so much, Ms. Grabelski. You are looking wonderful. Did you all have a good time yesterday trick-or-treating? Yes, and I heard you were really, really polite and got a lot of candy. And now everybody is sitting and listening. I'm very happy. I want to thank your superintendent, Dr. Slintz, for having me here, and Dr. Brown, and of course, Ms. Misrock, who has done this year after year. And thank you also, Ms. Grabelski, for making sure that I got a chance to talk to this incredible, incredible group of young people. So I am your senator. And the same way that you all elected a student government, your parents and other people went to the polls and elected me. It has happened, I started representing Dobbs Ferry a lot of years ago, and I have grown in my responsibility. First of all, I represent a lot of people. I represent about 300,000 people. And so I have to be able to go all around my area, which is everything. It's Yonkers, it's Hastings, it's Dobbs Ferry, it's Irvington, it's Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow, all of Greenburgh. That's all of my district. And I have to go around and listen to people and see what it is they need. And then I go back up to where I work, which is in Albany, and that's about two hours from here. It's the state capitol. Has anyone been to the state capitol in Albany? Wow. Well, hopefully you will come back and visit us while we're in session. We have big chambers there, and when I go back there, I go back thinking about you. Now, I'm the leader of the Senate in New York State, so you might not know that there are 63 senators in the state of New York. And my colleagues, the other senators, vote on who should be the leader of the Senate. And that's me. So when I go there, I take your area concerns, and then I have to listen to everybody else's concerns. And then we make laws. So, just like you have laws here, we make laws in New York State to try and help the people of New York State. We make laws about the environment. So you know, when your parents go shopping now, most of them bring bags with them, right? Because the plastic bags we don't want in the ocean anymore, so we're trying to reduce the amount of plastic bags. Funding for your schools comes from places like New York State government as well as the federal government. And we are able to give more and more money for schools because we want you to have the best education possible. Dobbs Ferry Hospital, when I first got elected, they were going to close Dobbs Ferry Hospital. Has anybody gone to Dobbs Ferry Hospital? Yes, everybody. Well, it's a good hospital. But the reason why it's still open is because I fought along with a lot of your parents and the people who work in the hospital to keep that open. And although they were planning to close it, they decided it wouldn't be a good idea. And so they kept it open. We have so many things that we work together on. Voting is another. You heard Ms. Misrock talk about voting on Tuesday. Does anybody know that your parents could actually vote today? Because in this state, we have early voting now. And you could go to a library, cast your vote. Suppose you're not going to be there on Tuesday. And a lot of times, because people work, they can't be there on that one particular day. So we changed the law in the state to say that you can come earlier to vote within a certain time period, so that even if you're out of state or if something happened that you can't come, your vote still matters. And why does it matter? It matters because people need regulations that they can follow. How about in this school? Do you have rules that you have to follow? Yes. So I'm going to ask for a couple of the rules, and this gentleman has had his hand up.
I have a question. Why do our parents have to go to the North or South Pole? Why can't they just go to the post office to vote?
The North and South Poles?
Yeah, because he said that they have to go to the pole.
Oh, the poles!
The post office. What? It said pole.
Okay, so I'm gonna get to that. So he asked, what's your name?
Nate.
Nate? Okay, so Nate had been raising his hand since I started talking. And Nate wanted to know why they had to go to the North, parents had to go to the North or South Pole, where Santa is in December, and in the South Pole, I suppose, during the summer. But that's not where you have to go. You know that poles is so the North Pole. Anybody knows how to spell that pole? Okay, how do you spell that pole?
I think it's P-O-L-E.
P-O-L-E. That's the North Pole. And then there is the pole, or the place where you go to cast your vote. How do you spell that pole? Okay.
P-O-L-L.
Okay. That's amazing. So, it is the same sound, but it's spelled differently. And so the polling place is a place in your neighborhood where you go. And where you go to see Santa make gifts is not where you gotta go. So if your parents think you have to go there, you can be the one to tell them, no, it's right here in the neighborhood. But thank you for asking. Okay, so we were talking about laws. Give me a couple of laws, let's come over here, that in this school, what's a rule or a law? Yes.
No running in the hall.
No running in the hall. Oh man, everybody's got a rule. Okay, let's see.
No bullying.
No bullying. Do we have any, put your hands down. I just want to see. Do we have any bullies in here?
No.
Okay, you. Okay, thank you for being honest. Thank you for being honest. Are you a bully also? I'm just, okay. Would I like you, I'm asking because we know that there is no place for bullying, that when we're in school together, it's because we're all learning. And we all have to respect each other as we learn. We're a family here, so we have to find ways to demonstrate that we're a family, so no bullying. But thank you for that. And I will take one more, yes?
To be respectful.
To be respectful. Okay, so these are great laws, and somebody has to make them. And so in this school, you know, the superintendent, your principals, your teachers, they make the rules. Your parents have rules for you. But in this school, you are doing something that a lot of schools don't do. You have chosen members of your own classes to help you not only make new rules that are good for the school, but to help you to communicate to the grown-ups what you need. And in order for that to happen, you had to have an election. So, I am so pleased that you have chosen to pick people who you feel will represent you. And there's only a few people who are doing this. I understand it's 2 from each class, so it's about 18 people. But what do they have to do? What do you expect your representatives to do? Are you a representative? Okay, what do you want from your representative?
Be responsible.
To be responsible. That is excellent.
To not bully other people.
Okay, just because you're in the lead does not mean you can bully anybody, right? Okay, the skeleton over here.
To be safe.
You want your student government leaders to make you safe. Now, how does that happen? They are going to have to listen to what you think you need in order to be safe. Yes?
Rules.
Okay, we want our student government to make rules. How about listening? Do you want your student government to listen to you? Yeah. And do you want your student government to say, I can help you? Or suppose they can't help you. Suppose you're saying, oh, I want to leave school at 12 o'clock and we only should go to school from 8 to 12. Do you think that they can do that? So you have to be reasonable. You have to get them to listen to you, but you have to make sure that you're asking them to do things that they can do. I'm going to go back here, I'm going to go one here, one there, and then we're going to go and swear our people in, okay? All right, here we go. Yes, ma'am.
I want them to be kind.
She wants student government leaders to be kind. How many people want that? Me too. Being kind. Just because somebody elected you to be the leader doesn't mean that you now are the boss of everyone and everything. That's not it. The reason why you're elected leader is because you're the person who can look at everybody and say, you know what, if I can help you, I will. That's important. I'm coming over here. Who?
Yes. Make good choices.
Okay. To make good choices.
But what if you
That is excellent. I think you are ready to have a new era of leadership. People who are kind, people who won't bully you, people who will listen, people who will make good choices, people who you will not ask to do things that you know they can't do, people who realize that they are your voice to the administration, people who will make a difference in your life. And there are people who ran for office that did not win, but let me tell you, the first time I ran for Senate, I did not win. And I ran again, and now here I am, the leader of the Senate, the first woman who's ever had this job. So even if you don't win, it does not mean that you can't win or that you're a loser. It does not mean that at all. It means you had the courage to say, I could do it, that you wanted to do it, and by the way, you can keep doing good work from wherever you are, because the world needs good, kind, smart people who know that they can work in order to help themselves and help others. So you've been wonderful. Thank you so very much. I am very excited to swear you all in. And I guess my next person that we are going to introduce is your principal, Dr. Brown.
Thank you. That was wonderful. You've all been an amazing audience. Thank you, Senator Andrea Cousins, for that Stewart Cousins, for that wonderful comprehensive review of what it's like to be a senator and the role you play in supporting your constituents. So thank you, boys and girls. So Ms. Stewart Cousins has made a positive difference in New York State. She talked about how she has represented Dobbsbury in all the other areas, right? And we hope that you will continue to be helpful in that regard as part of the Springhurst School community. Our student government also makes a positive difference. And we hope that your leadership and what you've gained in this role, in this experience at Springhurst, that you may also think about leadership beyond, into our local community of Dobbs-Ferry, into Westchester County, in the state of New York, and maybe someday in the world. Like the senator said, we do need good, kind, empathetic leaders, and so we see that in all of you. At this time, I'd like to re-invite up Ms. Donna Misrock.
So, I want to, before we call up our representatives to take their oath, I want to thank all students who participated in the campaign process. Those of you who prepared and delivered speeches and made posters, your teachers told us what an impressive job you did. This year, we had the most candidates ever. There were 103 of you. And I've been doing this for 16 years, so this was pretty amazing. If you were not voted in, we encourage you to try again next year, either here or in the middle school. And in addition, please make sure you share your ideas for making your classroom, our school, and our community a better place, and share that with your classroom representatives. We want to hear your thoughts. I'd also like to recognize those students who were candidates in the election. Could you please stand, all 103 of you? Let's give them a hand. Okay, you can have a seat. Each of you is going to get a certificate of participation in our election. I'll be giving those to your teachers later today. I also want to thank our 4th and 5th grade students who participated in the voting process. Student government involves us all, not just those who were selected as our representatives. Their job is to get information from you and share information with you. So it's a joint effort. And thanks always to our 4th and 5th grade teachers who helped with the election process. We recognize that you guys have a lot on your plate, and I really appreciate all of your help. And finally, thank you to our wonderful principal, Dr. Brown, our assistant principal, Ms. Leah Grabowski, and our student services support coordinator, Mr. Bastone, for all of your support. So, I'd like to call up Dr. Brown and Ms. Stewart Cousins to do our oath and call up our representatives.
Thank you. And we need to thank Ms. Donna Misrock. So can we please thank Ms. Misrock? Without her, this would not be possible. For the coordination, the organization of today's assembly, and for being the advisor for 16 years. So thank you, Ms. Misra. All right, we're finishing up, boys and girls. Students, thank you for being such an attentive, respectful audience. All right, so I will call names, and we ask that you come on up, and you'll shake the senator's hand, and then we're going to have the oath, okay? I'll start with 4th grade. Mr. Armstrong's class, Astle Cooper. Dressed and ready for the occasion, Salvatore Salustio. From Ms. Ferry Kaminsky, Ryan DiLieto. Naomi Seihan. From 4 Foresti, Charlotte Chow. Simon Kwan. From 4 Giuliano and Gilson, Jonathan Newman. Rosie Patkin. From 4 Laporte, Joseph Papasso. Indiana O'Donoghue. 4 Mayor, Clementine Kaminsky. That's 4 Mayor, Matthew Libby. And 4 Ortega, Margaret or Maggie Gimple. Gavin Horowitz. Okay, I'd like to recognize the 5th graders now. From 5 Campbell, Scarlett Frazier. Charlie Muniz. 5 DeStefano, Samantha Farrington. Marco Piazza. 5 Dwayne, Ruth Murphy. Dahlia Raquedo. 5 Guerrero Bookin, Elijah Burns. Lizzie Jerutis. 5 Jandowitz, Dominic Ambota. Amatara or Tara Joshua. 5 Mizra, Beata Brass. Grace Lafferty. And last but certainly not least, for Mr. Turntrock's class, Elizabeth Sable. Another round of applause for all of our students.
Well, congratulations. I did not know there were 103 candidates. So you have obviously really worked hard and you stood out, and now you have a responsibility. And part of the responsibility we're going to talk about in our oath. And so what I'd like you all to do is repeat after me. I'll do it slowly so that everybody can hear it, and then you just repeat the words, okay? We, the students of Springhurst School Student Government will act together as responsible elected representatives in order to promote the general welfare of our student body and community, and to provide opportunities for student cooperation and participation in school activities. Congratulations, go Governor. Thank you for student body.
Okay, so thank you all so much for joining us today. This was really a tremendous assembly. Really appreciate everybody's participation, and especially thank you to Senator Stewart Cousins, who found time in her busy schedule for us. We're so grateful. First meeting is going to be held this coming Monday, November 6th. We have a lot of great ideas and activities already waiting for us to tackle. So your class representatives will be reporting back to you. They'll come to your classrooms to visit and talk with you. And we look forward to your ideas and your involvement on a variety of activities to help make Springhurst and our community a better place. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for student body.